where dreams collide. Sarah's voice, a gentle guide through the realms of time and space. She takes us to a sacred place.
Hi everyone. I thought I would give a little update and do a quick this week in sessions because so much is happening and so many people keep bringing in really interesting information. So I thought I would do a quick little update for you guys. Um, One really fascinating thing that happened this week in my sessions was this client came in and she and her son had experienced psychosis and they were dealing with a lot of different health issues. Now, they went to many different doctors. They couldn't really find the cause until they went to this naturopathic doctor and found out that the root cause of their psychosis was, get this, gluten. Gluten. So, we hear all the time how people are gluten sensitive and they have all kinds of issues from gluten, which is really not the gluten. It's the Roundup. It's the poison on the gluten. But what seems to happen according to the higher self when they're under hypnosis is that what's happening is because this is so poisonous for most people, that the body sets off a reaction and it makes the body inflamed. So it's like it's protecting the organs and there's an inflammation going on. And really, it's the body's doing an amazing job of protecting the organs. So it develops like a layer of inflammation. And for this client and her son, it was causing mental issues. So, it's really amazing how like certain foods really affect us mentally. I thought that was very interesting. Okay, now the other things that I've been hearing in my sessions these days, if you listen to my recordings, you can hear it too, is it's so fascinating. So it really seems like on one layer of this reality that we're all in. So like these different layers are all here right now. On one layer, on the densest layer here, there is a fog covering this earth that's keeping people asleep and it's causing a lot of issues and it's messing with people's minds. So there's that. But what's also really fascinating, okay, is that on a little bit higher of a layer of a level, this fog is dissipating. And then you go up higher in frequency and there is no fog. Now, I find this to be very fascinating. So it literally means that our timelines are different, our realities are different. And, I love the example. Okay. This is the example that not only the higher self is given, but this is something that I think about too, as well. And please comment below how this experience was for you. During the COVID times, my sister lives in Nantucket, and we heard from people that lived in Nantucket, okay, that went to the hospital there, that the hospitals were overrun, that there was no room, that people were in the parking lots and everything was full and it was just like mass chaos. They didn't have a place to put the bodies, is what we heard, okay? So I went to visit my sister because it was a great time to travel during COVID. I tried to put out videos about it um, like about a year in advance, and they always got taken down. Unfortunately, there was a lot of censorship, and anybody that talked about it at all, their videos were taken down. So anyway, even my private videos, YouTube unlisted. Anyway, so I I went to Nantucket and we were biking and then we biked by the hospital. And here I had heard all these things about how overrun this hospital was, how bodies were stacking up. We biked by the hospital and the hospital was completely empty. And there was like one car there, and so we talked to people and they said, yeah, even the nurses are being laid off. No one goes to the hospital right now unless it's a real emergency. It's just really slow, really quiet. So then it made me think, how come my reality is so different than someone else's? And is it really different? So I asked a bunch of people, did you guys do this too? I asked a bunch of people, what's going on in your reality? Not judgmental, but just out of curiosity. And sometimes you would hear, oh, wow, people are dying all over the place. There's death and destruction everywhere. And then you would hear the opposite. Oh, we have off of work. This is a great time. I'm hanging out with my family. Yeah, we got a cold. That was about it. But it wasn't the case for everyone. It was not the case for everyone. Everybody seemed to have a different experience. So if you think about the different layers of reality, in a way, that opened our eyes to show us that there are different versions of this reality that we're in here, that we're all experiencing something different. And so it's really quite interesting. And it doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong if you're experiencing a different reality. And what's also interesting is even my client today, I asked her higher self, she wants to be experiencing these other things. And her higher self said, yeah, you can change the road that you're on by communicating directly with your higher self. And you can ask, hey, I would like these other things to happen. And some of the easiest ways to accomplish this is by communicating directly with the higher self and saying, I'm not happy with this. I would like to change this. I would like to see more abundance. I would like to see, more peace on earth and things like that. And sometimes that's one of the easiest ways. And then, also the higher selves of my clients have been saying some of the easiest ways to change anything is through stillness. Asking, praying really does make a difference. So, of course, I'm asking, well, how come, people pray, people ask for these things, and nothing seems to change? It's so hard. And they're like, because of our belief system, because we have to believe it. So, one thing that they shared with my client actually today was to daydream about it, daydream about what they want. And they were telling my client today, if before they go to bed, if they just did one thing, it would make a huge difference. If they could just go over in their mind a story about what it would be like if these amazing things happen. And this in turn would actually start to create these in their reality. So to just go over, like, what would I love to see happen? And then that in turn actually helps them create this. So I found that very fascinating too. Um, and then, of course, there's so much. There's the time has sped up. You probably can tell. Isn't it interesting how fast time is going? Do you remember, like, even 10 years ago, how time seemed to go a lot slower? And it really does seem that it has sped up because this whole ascension has sped up. And, what's really interesting too is even just my client not today, but yesterday, was talking about, we were talking with a being from the Pleiades and how it's just so blissful and how they create over there and how they spend time in their nature over there. And gosh, it just sounds amazing. So, most of us were really doing heavy work here. It really is hard. And it's hard to be real about it. It's hard. It's nobody I know is like, oh, this is great every day and totally mastered it all. Otherwise, they'd probably be dead, because you wouldn't need any more lessons. You would have figured it out. I know I'm not there for sure. It is pretty hard. But, I keep hearing in my sessions, just wait. things are going to get better. You're going to start to see it in your reality. So apparently we're going to start to see these things in our reality finally. We're going to start to see like that people are going to start waking up like crazy. And people keep predicting like the next 5 years is going to be massive growth and change. A whole lot will change. So, you know, this is what I'm hearing. So hold on tight. I know it's hard, but it really is supposed to start to get better. Of course, we're still in the chaos and still probably going to be more chaos, but it is supposed to start to get better within 5 years. And that's not only just one client, that's multiple clients saying that. So that's very encouraging. I mean, if things kind of suck for 5 years, at least they didn't say 20. I mean, 5 years, I can deal with that. I just wanted to hurry up, but I'm glad it wasn't 20. So they keep talking about like how there's a new golden age upon us and how we're going to start to have telepathy and all kinds of exciting things. So, that's very exciting. Um, I wanted to talk a little bit about skin issues because I think almost every single client this week and last week is suffering from some type of skin issues, and this is really common, and there's a couple of reasons why. So, if you've watched any of my earlier videos, there are byproducts being dumped out of planes. It seems like that's what the higher self has said, and these chemical companies used to put the product in the water, and then it was killing the sea life, so they, were trying to dump it in the land, and now they're trying to dump it in the air, and it's twofold. It also causes some people to get sick, and this is really wreaking havoc on some people's skin. This is just um, what the higher self has said. So there's a bunch of different reasons for that, for skin issues right now. So that's one, but keep in mind that's only a trigger. No one ever gets any health issue or any type of issue unless there's also an agreement with their higher self that, okay, they'll allow that to affect them. Because literally you govern this body and you have to allow it to actually affect you. You could tell your body, oh, I am protected from that. And you would be if you believed it enough, if you shielded yourself enough, you are that powerful. And that's actually something that we're supposed to do. We're supposed to remind each other that we can bless our food, we can bless our bodies, we can put like a bubble of protection around ourselves, we can protect our house, family, dog, everything. We really do have the power to do that, and we should be doing that more. But they've also said that, so that's one of the triggers. But another thing that's happening is because we're in this fast track and we're ascending so fast and so much is happening, a lot of trauma and issues, physical issues, is bubbling up to the surface. And sometimes it's bubbling up too fast and you haven't dealt with it yet. And so sometimes it can start to erupt out of the skin. And what's actually happening is sometimes it's pockets of energy coming up. And if it didn't do that, it would stay within your body. So keep in mind, your body is a miraculous machine, just like a volcano erupts. It's very similar. We are reflections of everything else. So if you look at how the earth handles changes and deep emotions, it's the same. So a lot of this has to be purged, especially with everything we're going through right now. Now there's also irritation, skin itchiness, skin irritation. And for many people, it's because they're very irritated and it's showing up in their skin. Sometimes it could be anger. Sometimes it can be that they're not fully in alignment with their path. But keep in mind that all issues always have an emotional core. So to ask yourself, what is the root cause of this issue? Why do I have that? And if you don't know, I have this really amazing program. It's called Heal Yourself with Hypnosis. So if you want daily meditations to really help you find the answers to, many things, and just find a little easy way to tune in with yourself so you feel more empowered and you feel like you have the control. Then if that's what you're looking for, then I have that. And I'll put the link below. But I just want to tell you, just hold on, and everything really still looks like it's on track and is very good. So I hope you have a good week, and I will talk to you soon.
In a world where dreams collide, Sarah's voice a gentle guide. Through the realms of time and space, she takes us to a sacred place.